Good morning, everyone. Distinguished members of the jury, guests, my wife. I'm honored to be here. It's been a long journey, and as I share with some of you, I have 4 kids. 2 of them were born while doing the DBA. I also changed 3 jobs, 3 countries, lived in Luxembourg, in Dubai, in Spain. So it's been an incredible journey, and I learned a lot about life and about the subject I was trying to talk about. I hold a bachelor degree in business, and I have an MBA, and I'm defending my PhD thesis, or my doctoral thesis, in fact, on critical success factors for cloud, SaaS, and artificial intelligence ecosystems. And it's been 34 years that I've been working in the IT industry. I've been experiencing this technology, and I was always curious about what makes some companies very successful and some others not so successful. And always intrigued me, but I couldn't devote the time needed to really understand the causes that trigger success or failure. So the work that I did over these 6 years was to investigate this, in looking at the literature existing on the concepts explored, but also interviewing top executives in the most well-known companies in the world in this matter, to gather their opinion, their thoughts. And I will share with you what I did throughout the next 20 minutes. So the structure of the presentation is, of course, in a brief introduction I shall share with you, a little bit on the theoretical background, the research question that I asked myself, and the methodology followed, what were the findings, most importantly, what were the managerial impact of this work, and the discussion and the conclusion. Of course, the most important piece, the dialogue with you after this short presentation. So most of you have interacted with the most famous platforms in the world, Amazon, Airbnb, Uber. They brought to our attention the platform economy. What for me is one of the key concepts around what I'm researching, which is the platform economy and multi-sided networks. That's the beginning of the story. And everybody got very excited about this platform economy. Now everybody wants to have a platform. And a lot of people are investing a lot of money to create a product that will become a platform that will be very successful and valued in the billions in the market. But not all of them succeed. In fact, very few succeed. So what makes them succeed or failure are the keys of this research. Underlying this company's success, like Amazon, Airbnb, Uber, and many, many others, is the technology that I want to share with you, which is cloud technology, artificial intelligence, and software as a service. These companies use cloud, artificial intelligence, and software as a service as the backbone of their offering. Without this technology, there wouldn't be a platform economy. So this is why this technology is so important. And then you saw Google, Microsoft, SAP. I'm sure you are familiar with these names, IBM, which are companies that create and expand this technology to offer more services to the enterprise customers that they serve. So why is this important? As I shared a few times throughout this dialogue, if you are creating software, if you want to provide professional services around the technology, if you don't know how to play this game, you will not succeed. So the spirit of this research is to outline what were the critical success factors that made some of the winners winners, and what could be a roadmap for companies to follow to be successful. So the primary research question was, how do cloud, SaaS, and AI companies become successful? How do they drive business growth? And there are some traditional myths and misconceptions in the market that without massive investments, no one will be successful. If you are not the best technologically, you will not succeed. And you can go alone to the market and win. I was with Amazon Web Services in 2015 when they launched several cloud businesses in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And they did not work with partners. They did not have an ecosystem. And they wanted to create an ecosystem around the technology because they were failing to penetrate the enterprise market. Amazon was the creator of the cloud in a way for the massive consumption, but they thought that they could go alone to the market, and they were failing. So they learned that they needed an ecosystem around them to be successful. The same happened with Google. I joined Google 4 years ago to create an ecosystem around the technology because they thought that they were going to succeed with the same way they did it with the search engine or other products, that they could go directly to the consumer and that will work. That doesn't work in the enterprise market if you don't have an ecosystem. And that's why having an ecosystem is extremely important. So some of the companies that I researched were companies that may come across your life in the past or not, but these are the best and biggest companies in cloud, SaaS, and AI. Salesforce.com, the creator of software as a service, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, SAP, Alibaba, and then some of the companies that are providing professional services and transforming other companies with their advice. PricewaterhouseCoopers, Boston Consulting Group, Deloitte, Accenture, Capgemini, Tata Consulting Services, IBM, Wipro, and then some of the biggest software as a service companies in the world. Splunk, Oracle, Adobe, Shopify, Zoom, ServiceNow. Some of the biggest chip manufacturers in the world that you will see every time you open the news in your phone. NVIDIA, Intel, C3 AI, Palantir, OpenAI with ChatGPT. So those are some of the companies that I researched. The collection of data took place between January 2018 and June 2024. We did a comprehensive literature review that I will share more about in the next few slides and looked at industry publications. As I shared at the beginning of the introduction, I interviewed over 50 executives in the best companies in the world with presence in Asia Pacific, Europe, Middle East, and Africa, and the Americas, North, Central, and South. I followed the grounded theory with Georgia methodology, and for those that have the document of the thesis, you will see how I use Post-it notes and try to build up from the comments that I found from the interviewees. About the literature review, I did a search, and my final search was in 2023, where I found 1.2 million papers talking about platforms. So I had to canvas the ocean to start getting things that were going to be meaningful for this research. So I use a powerful software called RTRev, which helps with biography and bibliometric analysis. I did bibliometric coupling analysis and co-citation analysis to find the biggest trends and the most co-cited authors to try to identify what were the key concepts that were emerging from this research. Of course, what I shared in the introduction, network effects. So the more people join your platform, the more people on the other side will join the platform. I remember famously quoted Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. He said, platforms are brokers. We are brokers between the readers and the writers, between the buyers and the sellers. So network effects is extremely important. The more drivers you have in Uber, the more people will want to be on Uber to be carried by them. If you don't have many drivers, you don't have many people that will want to be on those cars. So those are the network effects. Platform leadership, how to be a leader in a platform, what technological architecture you need in the platform to be a leader, and ecosystem innovation, how to create an ecosystem around your technology that will help you to grow and use others to further expand the value of your platform. For example, everybody has a phone, Android or Apple. You have a lot of apps. So the platform is this operating system, Android or Apple. All the apps that you have, those are complementors. The more apps you have, the more people will be happy using them. The more people using them, the more people will develop more apps. So you're creating jobs for the people that are developing the apps. The same applies in this industry, the cloud, SaaS, and AI industry, where a lot of people are developing software for other people to consume. But you need a platform to make them visible and to build more value around them. So some of the key authors, of course, I'm standing on the shoulder of giants when I talk about this because I've been learning through the people that I read about. And you can see them on the screen, but Gower and Kusumano probably are some of the most famous authors around this topic from 2010 when they started writing. So the gap in the literature that I wanted to share with you is that I was firmly decided not to do a meta-analysis of what other people researched. I wanted to do my own research. And it was extremely important for me because I wanted to bring something from the field. I felt that the literature that I had reviewed with over 900 papers analyzed lacked in many areas. First, they were not specific about cloud, SaaS, and AI ecosystems. They were not talking about the frameworks, the theoretical frameworks that were presented had no empirical validation. They were expressed as meta-analysis or as reports of annual reports, but there was no connection between the theoretical frameworks and the empirical analysis. So I wanted to bring something from the field that would complement the existing literature. So I found the gap, and the gap that I found was how these companies that create this technology become successful. And that's how I designed my research, to ask people in the field how they felt about different things related to this. There were no practical insights. There were no managerial advice about how to grow these companies. You will see, oh, Amazon or Apple grew and their value at 3 billion, 3 trillion, but nobody is telling you how they got there. And it's always a look at looking at the past. If you look at the past, you will never be wrong. You're telling what already happened. How can you help others is if you tell them what to do in the future, where uncertainty reigns. There is no truth about anything, right? So how do you know what the right path is? So I wanted to create one path that might be right, might be wrong, that people can follow, and if they follow it, they might become successful. So I found that 3 key elements in this research. One, the critical success factors. You have drivers which attract companies to want to join these ecosystems. So why will a software creator join the Amazon platform? Why, if I develop a technology and want to make it available to the world, do I join the Apple ecosystem? Why? Why will I? Why would I not go direct? It's a question you want to ask. You are empowered to make a lot of good decisions if you go alone. If you go into a platform, you will be constrained by their governance. There are drivers to join these platforms: market growth, the potential they have to elevate your visibility to the world. I've been helping companies to join the Amazon marketplace. There were people in the small software company in Spain put their software in Amazon Marketplace, and there were people in China, in Australia, in Japan buying it. They would have never achieved that if they were not in that platform. So there is market reach, there is a market expansion. You can grow your commercial presence significantly. And then there are many challenges, because not everything is rosy. On the contrary, it's very difficult to work with these platforms. They are very powerful, and there is an imbalance of power when you negotiate with them about anything, about putting your software in that platform. So it's very challenging to work with them. There are demanding relationships. They don't have people to support a small software company unless you have a lot of potential for growth. So there are many challenges that need to be overcome to be able to work with these platforms and grow your business. And of course, we identify best practices, what the practitioners found that works, that make these companies successful. So those are the critical success factors that we identify. You may have seen it in the document. There are many drivers, many challenges, and a lot of best practices. The second finding is that ecosystem play is the name of the winner's game. There is no big company that is winning the market that is going alone, not in the technological field. Even the latest ChatGPT, which put a generative AI tool in the hands of the consumer, they are partnered with a lot of other companies to make that technology available. And the growth will come from the enterprise usage of this technology, not just from the consumer. And the third finding that I want to share with you around the practitioner's impact is there are fierce battles within these ecosystems. The platform fight with the other platform. The ISVs fight with the platform. The service partners fight with the platform and the ISVs. So everybody needs to be aware that these fights take place, and they might impact the outcomes of their actions. So those are the 3 main findings of this research, which led me some managerial impact conclusions or recommendations. First, the outline of the ecosystem. What is it? When you talk about ecosystem, what are you talking about? Well, we're talking about a network of companies that interact, compete, and collaborate at the same time to achieve their objectives. The main players, I wish could stand up. I like to move and touch the screen, but the setting is that we should be here. So, but I wanted to share with you the customers are the defining factor, of course. They choose what technology they want based on their business needs. But sometimes they are influenced. Not every customer chooses whatever they really, really want. They choose what they can make work in their environment, and there are many elements at play. They usually work, the enterprise customer will work with a service partner. That you can see on the top of the screen, you can see customers. On your screen, you will see on the right of the screen, the service partners, and you can have consulting companies, telecommunications companies, managed service providers, that help a government organization access the technology from these players. Then you have independent software vendors that are creating new technology all the time that want to make it available to customers. And then on the bottom, you have the cloud platform offerings. And interactions can take place in many, many forms. Sometimes the independent software vendor will sell their technology through the cloud platform to the customer. And sometimes the technology passes from the independent software vendor to the cloud platform, and then from the cloud platform to the service partner, and then the service partner offers to customers. So depending on what technology you are offering to the market, you will need to understand what type of ecosystem play you need to do. Can you sell through the cloud platform? Can you sell with the service partners? So it's extremely important to understand the ecosystem you are in, and what role you play. Are you a member of the cloud platforms? Are you an independent software creator? Are you a service partner? And depending on where you are, it will be the strategy that you need to follow to win. The second element is that there is an ecosystem success model where, in this case, in the screen, you will see it on your right, on your left, my apologies. Different companies want to join a platform ecosystem. So if you see at the top, it says potential, service partners, customers, and ISVs are attracted by the drivers we were talking about, market growth, the newest technology, faster growth, more partners. You want to join a platform because of the drivers are very attractive. And if you keep moving and you follow best practices, you might grow your business or you might achieve your goals, but then you are faced with the challenges that no one can escape. Some of them will overcome those challenges and will win, and some of them will fail and will be dropped and might not succeed as faster as others. If you continue and the winners grow, what they do is they become a platform or they reinforce the drivers. Because if they succeeded, it means that it's more attractive for others to join them. Just to bring it down with an example, because I know a lot of you know a lot about technology. Think about Zoom, the technology we are using today. They started as a video communications platform, but then they wanted to grow. So they added more products to their portfolio, but they learned that alone they could not grow as fast as if they joined a platform. So they joined the Amazon platform. So although Amazon has a video conferencing software, Amazon also sells Zoom. And Zoom put their products in the Amazon platform because more people will use it, because more people use Amazon Cloud than Zoom as a video conferencing. So now Zoom joined a platform to grow faster, to expand their market, but they also want to become a platform themselves. And they want other people to develop software on top of the Zoom platform, so they created their own marketplace. So now you have Zoom partners developing software for the Zoom platform that is available in the Amazon platform. So unless you really know where you want to go and how you want to play this ecosystem game, you won't know what to do. But if you know, you can outline a strategy to move forward. That's why it's important to know, the ecosystem success model that we just outlined. And third, from the managerial impact, is the wars that I was talking about. It seems like there is a big war, and then there are battlefields within that war. And those battlefields are the platform fight for market dominance. Everybody wants to be the winner, and the winner takes all. The bigger your platform is, the more power you have to negotiate and to squeeze your competitors out. So they fight among themselves. But then the platform, the ASVs, and the service partners fight to get the money from the customer. Because if the customer says, I want Amazon, then Amazon will say, I will tell you which ASV and which service partner I will work with. So the customer choice defines the other players. The hardware, you might see in the news all the time, news about NVIDIA and Intel failing. There is a war between the chip manufacturers to get the money from the platforms. Because the better the chips they develop for what the platforms want, then they will get investment from the platform. And we're talking about billions, right? So NVIDIA selected themselves as the AI chip manufacturer, and now everybody's buying NVIDIA, the valuation is growing. They knew how to position themselves as a hardware producer for the latest buzz, which is AI, right? They knew how to play it, and they are winning, at least in the market positioning. The ASVs fight with the platforms also for the customers and visibility. Another interesting element that sometimes gets overlooked is everybody fights for the developers. You think a programmer, as a technical guy, they are very influential in the decisions that customers make and other partners make. So all the platform wants to attract the developer, so the developer will learn the technology they sell and not the others. Even if they learn the others, the more you know about one platform, the more you are going to say, I prefer this one, because you invested yourself on it, right? So they all want to win the hearts and minds of the developers. And everybody's fighting for the service capabilities as well. I know I'm short on time, but I'm getting to the point, close to conclusion. And there are several other recommendations that you could see in the document where I outline steps that a manager, a practitioner can follow, very, very down to earth with examples, so they can follow it and create their own ecosystem. The theoretical implications of this thesis is that I wanted to contribute to the academic discourse by talking about cloud, SaaS, and AI ecosystems, something that I didn't find a lot about. And second, from a practical application, I wanted to provide actionable recommendations for practitioners that they could follow. So bring it down, distill it for them into what it means for them on a day-to-day action. I categorized them by priority and suggested a course of action. So as a conclusion, the future of cloud, SaaS, and AI ecosystems offers incredible opportunities, and a lot of companies are joining these ecosystems every day. Everybody is working on an AI startup, and everybody wants to create new technology. To win, they must be part of an ecosystem and observe the critical success factors. Some of the distilled best practice recommendations: understand your role in the ecosystem and form strategic partnerships, create comprehensive governance, and develop a technical and go-to-market integration with your partners. It cannot be just a commercial or sales pitch. I found a lot of challenges finding the data. Interviewing these executives was very hard. First, to convince them to talk. They were, some of them, unwilling to talk about this because they knew I was speaking with many others in the same industry but with competitors. And also the rapid technological change. When I started this research, I was working on AI, but not on consumer AI. And ChatGPT brought consumer AI to the forefront. So now everybody talks about it. So we needed to adapt. The study has limitations, many of them. Geographical scope. I did an interview with people working for Alibaba or for Orange. So I work with a lot of United States Asian companies, Google, Microsoft, IBM, Pricewaterhouse, Accenture, so many of them. So there are potential for biases, and there is room to expand. So I think there is a lot of space to expand on this research. Some emerging trends: AI substituting people at work is worth exploring. Quantum computing and Internet of Things is impacting this business, and it's worth researching how it will impact it. Decentralized platform with blockchain will affect the cloud business. It needs to be taken into account. Sovereignty requirements. A lot of countries don't want to share their data for security reasons. So a lot of clouds are now national and managed a little bit by governments to take care of the data of their citizens. So some research proposals area, ecosystem development around AI, how it will change, how it will evolve, the impact of this emerging technology we are talking about, or perhaps narrow the ecosystem study by industry. What is happening in healthcare with this technology? What is happening in education with this technology? So there are many areas in which this can be expanded. Finally, I want to thank my wife, as the president clearly said, and it's true. Everybody is on this, and thank you, Veronica, and my kids for all the times that I was not there for them. Thank you, my supervisor, for your patience, incredible patience, and also thank you for helping me conceptualize my practice and for dealing with me. And thank you to the BSI team. You've been immense and magnificent. I thank you very much, Catherine, for these 6 years of help. I was a difficult customer. So I conclude there. Thank you very much, and over to you, Madam President.